We're on our way to Canterbury, walking's cheap and air is free. Our lives are many with different roles, we're going together to save our souls.
That bit's going in.
Lights up!
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am Frances Bodiam, and I am directing the Canterbury Tales for Putney Theatre Company on tour. We will be performing the Canterbury Tales at the Hurlingham Festival from the 30th of August to the 2nd of September, and then also the following weekend at St Margaret's Church, Putney, which is the 9th and 10th of September in the afternoon. I'm joined by Richard Seedhouse, who plays the Franklin, plus other parts. Will Hunter, who plays the Pardoner, plus other parts. And Kate Hartdyke, who plays the infamous Wife of Bath, plus other parts. So let's chat to our lovely pilgrims. What is the Canterbury Tales? Will, tell us a little bit of history, if you would.
Well, it's essentially the first, from what I understand, the first real text in the English language. Chaucer was the sort of considered the father of modern English, 14th century. But it's this group of pilgrims. It's stories within stories. So they are making a pilgrimage to Canterbury, and along the way they're telling stories within the overall story of the Canterbury Tales, and that's sort of a literary device that is quite common.
Great. So, Kate, you play the Wife of Bath. Tell us a little bit about the Wife of Bath. Who is she, and how does she fit within the storyline?
I love the Wife of Bath. She's fabulous. So she, if you studied this at school or A-level or to degree, you'll probably all know who the Wife of Bath is. But for those who didn't and need a little refresher, she has been married 5 times and is on the lookout for husband number 6.
Yeah, both of these characters here also, the Pardoner and the Franklin, are trying to avoid that, but maybe not avoid wholly.
We'll find out. And she's a seasoned pilgrim.
She is.
She's been to Rome, to Jerusalem, to Compostela, and all she needs now is the vial of blood from Canterbury for the full set of pilgrimage paraphernalia. And she's quite saucy. She's quite naughty. Mm-hmm. I think she takes no prisoners, and she's a lot of fun. And her tale, I'm slightly biased, obviously, is a fairy tale, really, with a good old moral at the end. But she's great fun.
She is. What we haven't mentioned is, what are our pilgrims going to do on their pilgrimage? Where are they going, and who are they actually going to see, or what do they think they're going to see once they get to wherever they're going? So, Richard, maybe you could tell us about that.
Well, I think each pilgrim has their own motivation for why they're there, and some will become more apparent as the story goes on. I think the Franklin, he's on holiday. He's there to have a nice time, and the pastime of telling tales, I think, suits the Franklin because he is a collector of tales. He's a bit of a bon vivant, and he likes to have stories to tell and to entertain his guests and entertain others with. So the premise that the pilgrims will tell tales really suits him. He's a people person. I don't think anybody dislikes him.
No, I think that's right.
Which suits me because I get to play somebody likeable.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think it's worth saying at this point that the pilgrims are on a pilgrimage. They're going to Canterbury, and they're going to the shrine of Thomas Becket. Thomas Becket, who in the 13th century was murdered by 4 knights in Canterbury Cathedral, and that's why he is now a saint. And in the 13th century, when our pilgrims are going on the pilgrimage and telling the tales as they go, this was a huge, huge story. Everyone knew who Thomas Becket was, and they all felt that he was their Becket. There's a little bit in I think it's a Reeve's Tale at the very it's a Pardoner's Tale. Sorry, it's a Pardoner's Tale, and some of the characters say our Becket, it's our Becket. So Yes, it was very personal to them, and Becket was a big draw. Canterbury was part of the annual pilgrimages that everyone made. Will, tell us a little bit about the tale that you tell, would you?
Well, the Pardoner is a little bit of a scuzzbag.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, he, as Kate was saying, in terms of the wife of Bath hoarding relics, the Pardoner essentially flogs relics, and bogus relics, really. So fake bits and pieces that he claims will be remains of saints and things like that. And in medieval religion, that was quite rampant. And it was considered it'd get you to heaven out of purgatory quicker. But yeah, he's quite well travelled. He picks up these dodgy relics. He doesn't really believe it himself. He's quite cynical, and he will flog them to somewhat unsuspecting pilgrims. So yeah, he's a slightly dodgy geezer.
He is a dodgy geezer.
To put it mildly.
Very dodgy. And your tale, tell us about your tale.
Yeah, it's unlike, because the tales are all different in tones, but this one's quite... Horrific's not the right word, but it's probably the most... It's the darkest and the scariest, which probably suits the Pardoner, because he's slightly an outsider. And it's about three youths who have an encounter with death and think they can defeat death. It's about, essentially, human's fear of death. The tales vary in sort of the tone. Some are a bit more bawdy, some are more romantic, and this one's the horror element.
This one's the dark one.
This is the dark one.
At the end. And you're playing in that Pardoner's tale, are you not?
I
Kate?
am. Waitress. No name. Waitress is all she is. We've decided she's from South London, though, so I'm channeling my best Peggy Mitchell impression.
And Richard, I believe you're in that one too?
I'm playing Harold, who is from Lancashire for obvious reasons.
I believe most of your characters are from Lancashire, apart from the chicken.
Remarkable how many of my characters appear to be from the northwest.
I mean, who knew that Chaucer just knew that and instinctively wrote it like that?
Much like myself, people from the north have always travelled and shared their mirth with southerners and helped them to live better. It's,
And we are grateful.
We are. We really are.
Excellent, thank you. And Kate, your tale, tell us a little bit about that, would you? Without giving too much away.
I mean, she's been married 5 times, and I think that plays quite heavily on the wife of Bath's mind. That she has, out of her 5 husbands, 3 were very good and 2 were very bad. And I think that this tale is slightly moralistic in that the knight, who is the main character, has done a dirty deed.
Very dirty.
Very dirty deed. And the wife of Bath is very insistent that he gets his comeuppance. So there's a character, so obviously the wife of Bath narrates. We have a knight who's improper and who encounters an old woman who basically sets him she doesn't set him the challenge, but she's the one that helps him, and then I won't reveal the end because that's too much of a spoiler. She plays with him, I think, is probably the best way of saying that.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Toys, maybe, yes.
Yes.
And gets him to see the error of his ways.
Indeed. Is that your favourite part to play?
Oh, I love, of course it is. Because we all do silly accents, so I apologise.
Apart from Richard, obviously.
Oh, sorry.
My accents aren't silly. They're authentic.
That's just the way he talks. That's not silly.
Well, I feel slightly worried that I'm going to get castigated by all our Irish friends at some point. And I'm just going to point out now that I am partly Irish myself, so I feel that it's not cultural appropriation. But it is a rather dodgy, broad Irish accent that is coming out. But that's the whole point of this. That it's all quite amplified and fun and silly, and we're not here doing a deeply serious version of an Irish play. So I'm sorry if I, just putting it out there first. So please don't write in and tell me that my Irish accent is an abomination.
We don't really know how people sounded in this period of time. So
He says the caveat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Right, okay, so that's your favourite. Well, what's your favourite?
Probably the Reeves tale is quite fun to do. I play a dodgy miller called Simmerkin with a sort of West Country drawl who's a bit of a pantomime villain, and that's quite physical and fun to do. Yeah. And Kate plays my wife.
Hilda. Yeah, I don't know. I think she might be from Lancashire.
She's supposed to be anyway.
Suddenly, overnight, she decided she was.
Yeah. But no, that's fun to do, so quite physical, and kind of I get to twirl my proverbial moustache and things like that. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Richard, your favourite character?
I quite like playing Alan in the Reeves Tale, working alongside Will on the dynamic between Alan, the lowly clerk, and Simmerkin, the unscrupulous miller. We get to have a lot of fun in those scenes, and I think the audience will enjoy them as well.
Yeah. In amongst all that, which is fun enough already, we have dancing and we have singing, which both Richard and Will are particularly fond of, I believe. Is that right, Will, Richard?
I don't want to lie on a podcast.
We do.
I think it's fair to say that everybody else very much enjoys our singing and dancing.
Yeah.
It's the highlight for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is about it that it is absolutely raucous fun.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not doing a ballet. If you think Morris dancing without the flappy handkerchiefs, that's probably about the tone of it, don't you think?
And the skill level.
Skill level. Although, let's say some Morris dancers are probably very accomplished.
Of course, yes.
At dancing.
I have watched every episode of Strictly Come Dancing.
Please tell me you have, because I would be genuinely thrilled if that's
I
the case.
can answer
never been any
many,
Morris dancing.
They've never done Morris on it. It's
Amazing.
Maybe this year.
Maybe it'll be the couple's choice for one of them this year.
Yeah.
Come on,
maybe.
Angela Rippon.
And if I ever
Yes.
become big enough to be on Strictly Come Dancing, we will bring Morris to Strictly Come Dancing.
Right. Well, that's a promise. That's a promise.
I should call the producers immediately.
So choreography and physical theatre ably directed by Penny Weatherall, and music composed and musically directed by Perry Kitchen. And the music, what would you say is the sort of feel of the music? It's
Medieval
intense.
countrified kind of
Yes,
thing, I would
yes.
say. It's what, jumping on the tables with flasks of ale and all that kind of thing. That's the tone of it.
There is a lot of flasks of ale. Flagons.
Flagons. It's like the medieval equivalent of a umpapa, isn't it?
Yeah. So, as you can probably gather, there's a lot of umpapa, a lot of fun, lots of dancing, lots of singing, lots of comedic acting, I think, in the whole thing altogether. Any final words from any of you encouraging people to come and see it?
Come
What
and
would
see
you
it,
like to
people.
say?
I would say it's family friendly. There's something, everyone will find it amusing. There's 8 of us running around being silly, playing lots of different characters, lots of different parts, lots of different accents. So please come and support us on the 30th of August to the 2nd of September at the Hurlingham.
Part of the Hurlingham Festival. And am I right in thinking that people will be able to experience the festival if they come and buy tickets for our
That
play?
is correct,
Our
Francis.
show.
So if nothing else, it's an opportunity for you to gate crash the Hurlingham Club, unless of course you are all members, and you get to wander around the grounds and go into their food stalls and see all the free entertainment that's out there, because normally it's just available to the Hurlingham members. So you get to look around their grounds and then see us, which is the cherry on the top.
Absolutely.
Ofs. So for £18, I think that's a bit of a billy bargain, quite frankly. And then at St Margaret's Church, for those that can't make it to the Hurlingham, at St Margaret's Church just on Putney Park Lane, which is a whole brand new venue for us. So very excited to have been invited there by Brutus the Vicar. And we'll be there from the 9th and the 10th of September at 3 p.m. So you can bring a picnic.
Yes.
There'll be a bar. There's all sorts of things going on, and for kids they can be running around. It's quite immersive, our production. of the Canterbury
Immersive is the
Tales.
right word. Yes, it's let's say promenade production. We do have a stage of sorts, but essentially, if you're an audience member, you could be in amongst the action, let's say. So, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Richard. And thanks all for listening.
And thank you, Francis.
Indeed.
This is a real Putney Theatre Company production. Do share the podcast with your friends and take a look at our website, searching online for the Putney Theatre Company. So that's it for now. See you next time.